Hi everybody and welcome to your tech tip of the week. In this video we're going to learn how to create a basic form using Google Drive. I use forms for a multitude of different reasons. One of the ones I use it for is when I'm trying to collect data for people who need to use Moodle and they're trying to create a Moodle merge. But you can also use forms for other reasons as well, one of which is giving a basic quiz for students or maybe trying to find out how many people are attending a meeting, things like that. So we're going to go over the very basic way of doing this. And to start, I'm already in my Google Drive. So to create a form, you click on the New button, and there's a More option here, and click on Google Forms. Now the first thing that comes up is a screen that's already ready. I'm just going to say no thanks for this right now. But there is a form that's already started for you, and you can go right into it by default. It gives you the option of choosing a multiple choice question, but you can choose multiple different questions to start with. Actually, I do not want to start with the multiple choice questions, so I'm just going to click the little trash can, so that way I could just start from scratch. Now, let's say we want to give our form a name, so this form is going to be collecting information for people coming to a staff meeting. So I'm just going to name it something very simple. Staff meeting is self-explanatory. And in your form description, this is where you tell the people that are reading your form what you want from them when they're filling it out. So when I'm creating a form, the first thing I always want to do is ask people what their name is. Who am I talking to? I need their contact information. So in order for me to create a new question, I'm going to go here to the plus sign. And you can see I have a multitude of different choices here, but I want to choose short answer because I want them to be able to type in their name. So for question 1, I just want to say first and last name. Now I can choose to make this a required question, which for me I always do, because in case somebody leaves it out, they won't be able to move forward with their form unless they fill it out. So we're going to make this required. And then I want to make another question, and let's do something, another short answer, and we'll just put email address. And again, I want to make this required because I need a way to contact the people that are applying or filling out this form. For the third kind of question, now we're only going to go over a few of them, but one of them I do want to show you is what a multiple choice question looks like. So same plus sign, I'm going to click on there, keep it as multiple choice, and my question is going to be, so now I can put in different options of what choices I have. So let's say 9:30 a.m. and I can keep going and keep clicking to put more options. 10:30 a.m. or 11:30 a.m. You can add an option for other if you like, but for this, in this case, I'm just going to leave it as these 3 choices. And again, this is a required choice because it is the purpose of what the form is. The last kind of thing I like to put in my forms is a place for people to add comments or any questions that they have. So for that, the kind of question that I choose is paragraph. This gives them a little bit more space to write what they want to write. So I just put something simple. So there's a few other options that you can look at here as well. You have the little palette here at the top where you can change the color of your form if you like. So if I want to change the color to, let's say, blue, I can do that. Or I can also click on the little image here, and they have so many different options that you can choose. So if one of these is particularly appealing to you, you can choose it. So let's say I just choose maybe this one and press select. And it loads the theme and it shows and it changes it, and it sort of makes it a little bit more interesting for the person looking at the form. You can also name your form here at the top, and what it did for me is it just took the title that I named it and automatically put it there at the top. So now that we have made our form, we can preview it by clicking on the little I here at the top, and we can test it. Now these are required obviously, so I'm just going to put the information in here. When I press submit to this form, it says my response has been recorded. You can choose to edit what that says, but this is just a preview, so I just wanted to show you what it looked like. So I'm just going to X out the preview, go back to our form, and now you can see here in the responses section I have 1 response. If I click on that, you can see that you can get a summary of everybody who has responded. Right now, since I'm the only one, it's just showing me, but you can see all the information. You can see that it gives you a little graph depending on who answered what, and it lets you know what is the majority. So you can view by summary, or you can view individually. So if there were more than 1 response, you would see it here at the top, and you can navigate through them that way just to see what individuals wrote for your questions. A few other little things here. Right now, this accepting responses option is on, which means at this point, this form is accepting responses. Once you shut that off, that means anybody who tries to fill out your form will not be able to fill it out further. So if you have a group of participants that you want to get and you have a certain number that you want to meet, and once you've met those responses, you can then shut off your form if you like. A few of the other things here is here at the top, you have the settings of your form. And these are just a few things. You have general, presentation, quizzes. We're not going to go into that in this video at this point, but you can see you can restrict to Wagner College users. You can limit to one response. So if you don't want more than one response to each form, you can check that off, and that ends up becoming very handy for you down the line. And you give the option of what respondents can do. They can edit after they submit. They can see the summary chart. So I like to leave that as off at this point because I don't need everybody to see everything. But in case you do, you can do that as an option as well. So when I am all done and ready to send my form and share it, I go and I click on send, and I can actually email directly, or I can click on this little link option here, and it gives me a link to my Google form. And you can just either use your keyboard shortcuts, or you can press copy and paste it right in an email, and that will send the form directly to the participants so they could fill it out, and you can start collecting respondents' information. So that's just a very basic form. There are obviously more things you can do with forms to make it a little bit more intricate, but just as a basic form, this pretty much will fit the bill. I hope you enjoyed this tip and that you found it useful. Thank you for joining me for your tech tip of the week, and I'll see you next week.